So a lot of things are happening on the WordPress PHP world, where WordPress as an organization is in a lot of trouble with WP Engine and the founder of WordPress. A lot of things are happening. So I just want to give you a quick brief because I haven't covered this on my channel yet. What's going on, what's happening, and let's take it from there, what the situation is today. So this all started with Matt, who is the CEO of WordPress in general. He started making certain claims against a company known as WP Engine. So what WordPress Engine or WP Engine is, if you go ahead and check out their website, what they do is they provide WordPress platform hosting, right? And if you look at the pricing section, for example, they have like different plans you can pick up. Basically, think of it as a sort of like a Vercel, but for WordPress, right? So a Vercel for WordPress is sort of the thing which you would imagine this company doing. Like, you can just tweak it. You can have like all the same things happening, like so scaling the price up with the visitors and storage and all of that. But this is secondary. The main fight between WP Engine and WordPress was that Automatic, the parent company of WordPress, said that WP Engine is violating their trademarks. And in general, I think not even like we haven't seen any big name out of WordPress except for this one person who is the CEO of WordPress. He's saying a lot of negative things about WP Engine in general. And Fireship has also run a poll where Automatic comes out to be worse. So let's take a look at this one CNBC article, which is written on 5th October. It states like why WordPress founder Matt has gone nuclear against tech investing giant Silver Lake. Matt, who has turned 40 in January, has now spent more than half his life working on WordPress. He has never had such an insane 2 weeks. WordPress, best known for its leading content management system, has a lot of sites. Typically quiet but extremely important part of internet. WordPress powers roughly 40% of all websites. This stat is huge. This is humongous. WordPress in itself powers 40% of the whole internet. That's a crazy number. Has suddenly emerged as a major source of tech industry drama, threatening to upend an ecosystem that has been long viewed from outside at least as a collegial, thanks to its longevity and the various fun-loving camps and learning sessions it hosts every year. While WordPress technology is open source, meaning anyone can install it and use it for free, Mullenweg, who is also founder and CEO of Automatic, a venture-backed startup valued at $7.5 billion as of 2021. WordPress.com is Automatic's central business, and individuals and companies pay anywhere from $4 a month to $25,000 a year for services like ad products, security, customers, and inventory management. WP Engine's offense, according to Mullenweg, and a cease and desist letter his attorney sent to the company on September 23rd, revolves around years of trademark violations. WP Engine claims that it's bringing WordPress to the masses. We at Automatic have been attempting to make a licensing deal with them for a very long time, and all they have done is string us along, Mullenweg wrote in a September 26th post on his personal website, Matt. Finally, I drew a line in the sand which they have now leapt over. See, so the theory, the underlying reason basically is that suddenly out of nowhere, Mullenweg, who is the founder, who is the CEO of WordPress, he just woke up on 23rd September or whenever and decided that WP Engine is violating WordPress trademark, and it's saying that WP Engine is claiming to bring WordPress to the masses. If you look at the website for WordPress WP Engine, you will see that it says that managed WordPress hosting, plans and pricing from WP Engine. I don't understand, like, to be honest, like what else would you do if you are really like providing WordPress hosting? How else would you say that? Of course, there could be nuances on a legal basis, what you have to do, what you don't have to do. But the thing is that this over here could have probably be also resolved not in a social media platform. It could have been resolved in a back channel. But as he mentioned that we have been attempting to make a licensing deal with them for a very long time. So I'm assuming that they don't pay. WP Engine don't pay them. And this was, I think, one of the things which was also brought up, that WordPress or Automatic, the company behind like official WordPress.com, wants 8% of WP Engine's revenue, something around that. That was the deal which they wanted to do, but they did not sign it. And now it has all gone to hell. The problem is, it's even fine. Like, if you are two organizations who disagree on something, you are, taking, like, WordPress sent a cease and desist letter. They took a sort of a legal route, right? Where they started to involve trademarks and lawyers and all of that. That is okay. The biggest issue with which most people have here with WordPress and Matt in general is that they are going very, very low in terms of like taking down WordPress, WP Engine, right? So in fact, recently, this is also one of the tweets I made. If you look at WordPress.org login page, I don't know if it still exists. Let's see, login.wordpress.org. So just take a look. WordPress.org, first first of all, is an open source foundation, so it's not really involved with the whole drama as it is told. Why would you have something like this on a login page of a WordPress.org website? I am not affiliated with WP Engine in any way, financially or otherwise. What this means is any plugin author who is affiliated with WordPress Engine, WP Engine, they can't log in. They can't do it legally. I mean, of course, you can just do and check this mark, but you can't do it. You cannot just log in like this. You have to check this box if you want to proceed. This is extremely bad behavior in a case where nothing has been finalized, like you're still waiting for cease and desist letter are being sent, there is a whole thing involved. So all of this is extremely bad picture for WordPress according to my opinion. So Matt, what he did is that he went to a couple of streams of other YouTubers. He explained his case, how they have violated the trademarks and all of that, which in some case makes sense, like how you portray it, sure. But again, like I mentioned, it makes a lot of sense if you have already taken the legal route, then just follow along it. Like, don't just start to bash people left and right. Don't just start to do things like these. I mean, this is extremely unprofessional of a company, of an organization which has like $2.5 billion in valuation, right? $7.5 billion. So looking at all of this, what WP Engine did is that it filed a legal case against Automatic and Matt. So Mullenweg then put out another post calling WP Engine's suit meritless and announcing that he'd hired Neil Katyal, former US Acting Solicitor General for Legal Defense. Mullenweg first referenced the matter in public on 17th September in a blog post ahead of WordCamp, the largest annual gathering in the US of WordPress users. In the post, Mullenweg criticized that WP Engine for not contributing enough back to WordPress ecosystem. He said Automatic contributed 3,786 hours per week to WordPress.org compared to 47 hours for WP Engine. WP Engine says in its lawsuit that those numbers are incorrect and that its contribution back to WordPress were far higher, including through events, conferences, sponsorships, and developing educational resources. This is a case about abuse of power and extortion and greed. The filing begins. The misconduct at issues here is that more shocking because it occurred in an unexpected place. The WordPress open source software community built on promises of freedom to build, run, change, and redistribute without barriers or constraints for all. These promises were not kept and the community was betrayed by the wrongful acts of a few, to the detriment of many, including WP Engine. The next day in the post titled WP Engine is not WordPress, Mullenweg wrote that even his mother didn't know the difference and said WP Engine is profiting off the confusion and needs a trademark license to continue their business. See, this is what I don't understand. That's okay, but how else would you offer a WordPress hosting service? For example, let me go ahead and Google WordPress hosting services, just like this. So you see, you have Bluehost, you have Hostinger, you have DreamHost, you have WordPress.com, SiteGround, GoDaddy, Cloudways, HostGator. What else would you want? I mean, like, why not come after DreamHost or Hostinger? Is that just because of WP Engine as a name? Because every other major provider also does a lot of WordPress hosting. I mean, when you are powering 40% of the internet, it's impossible to get a monopoly over there, because I know like so many players who do WordPress hosting. So this sort of seems like, I would say it sort of seems like targeted specifically to WP Engine. Otherwise, WordPress or Automatic in general should come after every single player in this market who's using like WordPress as a thing for selling it. But the bad thing is that how this plays out in a community fashion. If you look at some of these tweets which I've just bookmarked from yesterday, what these guys Automatic have done is that they have taken a plugin, ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, which is developed and maintained by WP Engine. This Advanced Custom Fields is a plugin for WordPress. It's maintained by WP Engine. So their team, their developers are the developers of this plugin. What WordPress did is something extremely shady, extremely bad. What they did is that a few days back, first of all, they blocked the access of the people of WP Engine for using WordPress.org by having things like these where you have to tick on that box in order to log in, that you're not affiliated. Once they did that, what they did as a next thing is that they invoked some point 18 of plugins directory guidelines. We are introducing secure custom fields. Extremely bad. What they did is that they took this advanced custom field plugin, ACF, WordPress. So they took this plugin from here and they renamed it. They hijacked this plugin, right? So they hijacked this plugin, including the slug, advanced custom field. They renamed it, they removed the author, they kept the downloads, they kept the reviews, ratings, all of that, and they started to maintain it. extremely bad. Imagine your company, right? Let's say you are having like a small startup which does a lot of revenue, hopefully, and you have a couple of apps on App Store and Play Store. And one day, Apple or Google just wakes up. Not only do they block your access, but they also take over your application itself. This is what they have done in this thing, right? So this is like one of the plugins which increases some customizability inside WordPress. But the broader point is that WordPress.org, and in specific like Matt, that one person who has too much power, is able to pull off something like this. And you can already see like people have started giving it 1-star review, stolen plugins. This used to be advanced custom field. Forking is fine, but taking over slugs is not. So this is basically they're trying to plan this, but plan it in such a bad way that they are getting all the backlash they possibly can get on Twitter. Take a look at this video. Imagine you're somebody who's not aware about this, which most of the WordPress users would be. You have advanced custom fields installed. There would be a new version which would be available. You will just click on this update now button without realizing what's going to happen. Once your plugin gets updated, once you refresh this page, this plugin is no longer maintained by the people who really built it. Now this is by WordPress.org. How is that even acceptable as a thing, right? That means you as a plugin developer cannot even trust a WordPress hosting service for hosting your plugin. That is why there has also been an official post from Advanced Custom Fields. We have been made aware that Advanced Custom Fields plugin on WordPress directory has been taken over by WordPress.org. A plugin under active development has never been unilaterally and forcibly taken away from its creator without consent in the 21-year history of WordPress. And to this, which WordPress replies and got community noted as well. This has happened several times before and in line with the guidelines you agreed by being in the directory. And the community note says that while the linked guideline permits removing any plugin for any reason, including those not explicitly mentioned, WordPress actions directly contradict the spirit of the overall guidelines and lack any justification for such actions. So they are quoting some arbitrary guidelines which doesn't apply to this hostile takeover, but they have done it. And people are rightfully mad. People are rightfully good to call this out. And I'm glad like we have social media in today's time, because otherwise things like these just go unnoticed, right? Look at this one other thing. So Laura is one of the WordPress contributors, right? She is a WP plugin. She's creating a WP plugin for freelancers to use with their clients and all of that. So she used this screenshot and said, guess I can't contribute to WordPress. The reason for this is because WordPress, like I mentioned you, that if you want to log in into WordPress.org, you need to check this box. That was the tweet, right? To this, WordPress replies, sorry, who are you? And most people know for a fact that this is Matt using the WordPress handle. Is this really a comment which you would leave to a plugin author, like somebody who's actively contributing to WordPress, actively creating functionalities? Is this what you would do? Extremely bad precedent, extremely bad for the WordPress as an ecosystem. So take a look at this comment, for example. This is the least professional and most community destroying behavior I've ever seen in our software world. Very, very true. You're destroying a legacy that took dozens of years and thousands of people spending months of their lives, and you're dismantling it one tweet at a time. WordPress is one of the best softwares out there. I've used it so much, but if the people managing the software are like this, especially the CEO of the company, you can just imagine like what would happen in the next few months and years to this, because they will just take it down one tweet at a time, like that tweet mentioned, and it just sets an extremely bad precedent for you know what this does actually. I'll tell you like with a quick example. So even on Fermion, we use WordPress as a software for you to build your website in a custom manner, right? So because we realize WordPress is so powerful and it includes plugins like Elementor, for example, for creating no-code websites, what we do is that we provide a direct self-hosted WordPress. So you see over here, by the way you watch this video, these credentials would not be applicable, but if I go ahead and log in it with these credentials, we spin up a full-blown WordPress.org instance for you on our own stack, on our own servers, and you can create this whole website. Once you are done, you sync it back and just use it. What things like these do is that they turn people against WordPress in general, and they hurt not only the WordPress as a company, but they hurt the whole ecosystem. Why? Because people like her, for example, would choose not to create plugins on WordPress.org, and WordPress, which are self-hosted, have those registries only. So if I go ahead and try to search for this plugin, in fact, even advanced custom fields, if I try to search this, I'm pretty sure I would not be able to install it now, because this is secure custom fields now. So I have no way, like something has been taken away from WordPress, right? So this has been stolen away from the actual provider. If I was using like WordPress today and I wanted to install advanced custom field, I'll have to probably go ahead and just manually download the zip and upload it, which breaks the whole spirit of a marketplace and open source thing, something like that. So extremely disappointed in WordPress team in WordPress leadership, not as a software. It's a great piece of technology which has been built over decades, but this is bad. And it's probably gonna get worse from this point, because Matt as a person is not realizing the damage he's doing with his tweets. I don't even know, like, why the hell would you even retweet something like this? This is clearly, like, the guy is clearly mocking you over here, and WordPress official handle is retweeting this. Unsupported hosting providers, we are unable to offer full support to WP Engine users due to their lack of contribution to WordPress, which does not align with our principles. I mean, sure, if you would just block the access of the plugin authors of WP Engine on WordPress and then hijack their plugin, hijack their work, their downloads, do you endorse the attacks by WP Engine against us, Automatic and Photomat? Are you serious? Like, what attacks outside of a legal complaint, which they are fully allowed to do, these guys have done? And on the other hand, WordPress in general, they are calling out people by saying, sorry, who are you? As a plugin developer, they have blocked access. They have added a weird checkbox on the login page of WordPress. This is extremely disappointing. And it seems like it's WordPress, or Matt thinks it's funny. Like, people are making joke of this whole checkbox situation, and WordPress thinks it's funny. That's why it's retweeting this. Maybe WP Engine is wrong here, but WordPress definitely is wrong as well. And it has been multiple times, like, it has been community noted. All of these WordPress blog tweets are getting very often community noted. So I don't know, like, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this whole drama, this whole situation? Do you use WordPress? Have you ever used WordPress? Let me know in the comments. That's all for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one really soon.